for our time for the child in all of us, I want you to imagine with me that you are one of the lucky few who gets to watch this year's Super Bowl in person. You're in the stands, there with your family, and you've come prepared. You've brought with you a bag of goldfish and a couple of hot dogs. And then, in this very surreal realization, you are the only one there, and thousands of people, who seems to have food. No one else has food. And then someone who says his name is Andy or Andrew comes up to you and says, my teacher actually could use your lunch. Can you give me those goldfish and hot dogs? It sounds kind of outrageous, but I think you recognize the story. In the story that we find in all four Gospels, and it's the only miracle story about Jesus that we find in all four Gospels, which tells us something about how important it was for the earliest Christians. In that story, there's a little boy who has 2 fish and 5 barley loaves. Andrew finds the boy, tells Jesus about him. Jesus takes the 2 fish and the 5 barley loaves and shares them with the entire crowd. And afterwards, from the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, they gathered 12 baskets. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, it seems that they ate all the fish. Only the barley loaves were left over. But the bigger question is, how could it have happened at all? Was it a miraculous sign and we simply have no way of knowing how it happened? Or some people wonder, maybe the little boy who shared his lunch inspired people to get out the food that they had been hiding because they were afraid that others might covet their food if they hadn't brought any food on their own. And then one act of sharing inspired another act of sharing, and so on, until the entire crowd was fed, and you had 12 baskets of leftovers. Either way, the story is a miracle, I think. And today is the Super Bowl of Caring Sunday, and thank you again to Ashley and Allison for doing last week's Time for the Child and talking about hunger and about the Super Bowl of Caring. And we do have folks here this morning, if you are able to get out on the roads. We are still collecting goods from 11 a.m. to noon, and we will also have a collection during the week. And you can also bring something next week, next Sunday. And one of the things that I've always loved about the Super Bowl of Caring is that the whole thing began 32 years ago with the Presbyterian Church youth group in South Carolina. And it began with a simple prayer, which I invite you to pray with me in spirit. Lord, even as we enjoy the Super Bowl football game, help us be mindful of those without a bowl of soup to eat. Amen.